Hey guys, this is Fuchsia. I'm the owner of Weird Sisters Yarn Shop in St. John's in Portland, Oregon. We share this yarn store with Two Rivers Bookstore. We're also on with Jen. She helps us out with marketing. And Sarah Pedersen of the Dye Project and Sea Change Fibers. So Sarah's here today to show off some of her beautiful yarn, and we're going to talk about the trunk show that we're doing. Just a couple things that we have to talk about that are going on right now. The shop window was broken this morning very early. Someone smashed the window in. So that's why the store looks kind of crazy behind me. This giant pile of yarn is all the yarn that we had to pull off the shelf to clean all the broken glass. So apologies for just running a little late and seeming a little frazzled. The other thing that's going on is Sarah is in Santa Cruz, and I don't know if you guys have been following, but there are a lot of wildfires happening in the Bay Area right now. So, thanks, Sarah, for joining us and dealing with this while that's happening. Do you have anything you want to say about that?
Just if everybody can kind of send us some good thoughts. I mean, where I live, I don't think we're going to be affected, but we have a lot of friends and that are up in those mountain towns have all had to evacuate. We know some people who lost their homes already, and it's really, really sad. So the redwoods are like our favorite part of living here. So it's just really breaking.
So much beautiful open land out there. So
I apologize if my light does look a little bit because we've got some weird smoky skies going.
Right. Can everyone that's in the audience hear and see us okay? If you can't, there's or if you just want to say something, there is a little chat box at the bottom of your screen that says say something nice. You can talk to us in there. You can also ask us questions. There's also down along the bottom of the screen an ask a question button that you can select, and you can ask Sarah any questions you may have about the dye project, Sea Change Fibers, or her yarns, or whatever. There's also a button that says Shop Now. That's where the trunk show is linked to. Not seeing anyone say anything, so if someone wants to just say something so I know you guys can hear us, that would be great. I see Jody. Hi, Jody. And Maggie. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Michael. Sorry, I may have to mute myself really quick. But so the thing I want to start with before we start the trunk show is Jen is here because 10% of all the sales of our trunk show today are going to support food equity work in Portland, which is something that we really care about. It's something we decided to support this month through our Patreon membership and then through events like this. So I'm going to let Jen talk about that for just a few minutes.
All right. While I'm doing this, if you could re-invite Sarah, her video seems to be struggling again. Food equity, Food for Justice is the name of the event that's happening at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, Sunday, from 4 to 5:30. We have managed to partner with a fantastic collection of Black and Indigenous and people of color farmers and food justice advocates here in the local Portland area. And they are going to talk to us about what food systems are and how they work and how we access them and where those systems can all break down for people so that we have a framework for figuring out how to move forward with food justice and increasing access to food, healthy food, affordable food, culturally appropriate foods for everybody in our communities. We're really excited about that. Rose Williams, who has historically worked with farmers markets, I think still has a position working in collaboration with farmers markets, is going to be moderating. We have folks from the Equitable Giving Circle. We have people from I'm going to forget the names of a bunch of these organizations. See if I can pull them up really quickly. Scrapberry Farms is going to be there. Flying Dogwood Farm is going to be there. Just lots of really amazing people who are doing phenomenal work in this area to talk to us about food and getting food on the table, which is something we all need. So we hope that you can join us. There will be a completely voluntary donation when you register for the event. That donation will also go to support food equity here in Portland. We're looking forward to it. We hope to see you there. I think that's all I have.
Let's switch it back to her.
Thanks, Jen. So I'm going to just switch the focus to Sarah. And I asked the first question down in the Ask a Question. And I wanted Sarah to just kind of talk about Sea Change Fibers, maybe, if you could. That's a new project that you just started.
Yes, I can. So a little bit more background about how my business did. I'm actually originally from Portland, and my business started in Portland. And then a little while after it started, we moved to Santa Cruz. And so Sea Change Fibers, the dye project started really as a project. We're homeschoolers and we do project-based learning. And so for me, like dyeing yarn and exploring this was really what started the original name of the dye project. And the idea was that it would be an ongoing exploration of fiber and color and all of that. And that, you know, I would kind of find my way into where it wanted to go. And where it wants to go is Sea Change Fibers. I want to put my efforts and money that comes from this business into supporting systemic change for people of color, change for people who are transgender, and queer, change for people who are in poverty, climate change. Like, I want to make sure that we are doing our best to support real change in this country and in the world. And so we decided to rebrand as Sea Change Fibers, both to like reflect where we live and my love of the ocean, but also like our desire to really fight for good change in the world. So that's kind of where this is coming from. So over the next couple months, like the ball bands are going to change a little. The octopus will still be, because we love the octopus and we'll never get rid of him. But like the color of the ball bands is changing to a teal color, and it'll say Sea Change Fibers by the Dye Project. And then we've also got some other projects kind of in the works under the overall label of a project that will come about. It just gives us a little more like flexibility to explore new things, which I really like doing. So there you go. So, and also like $3 of each of the skeins of yarn that I sell is donated. So it's not like I'm donating 10% of profits. It is, you know, around 10% of the gross of the actual price of the yarn. So it's not, I'm not kind of like, oh, well, I made this much money, so I'll donate this. It's a flat amount per skein of yarn.
Thank you for sharing with us with that. So I just added the Shop Now button. So sorry, I mentioned it earlier and someone said, oh, I can't see it. So I just added it. So that actually has the yarns that you're talking about. So the yarns that we're adding to the trunk show are a mix, right? The Ecola is from your dye project. And then is it the Sea Cliff? That's part of your Sea Change? Okay.
And then Ecola will end up being kind of ported over, but because Ecola is primarily sold in yarn shops, like that's probably going to be the last one to go over, because like labels and so forth. But if you want, I can talk about each of the bases and like what they're made of and what they look like.
Yeah, so we'll definitely go through those. I'm going to try to fix your video again though, because a couple people are saying they can't see you. So but you can keep talking and I'll just, you know, try to figure that out so you can show off the yarn, because that's what we want to see. We want to see the yarn.
Yeah. So Ecola, this one that I'm holding up is Ecola Sport. And Ecola comes in worsted, in sport weight, and fine, which is a light fingering weight. It's got the fine is, it's light fingering, but because all of my yarns are non-superwash, it like fluffs up when you knit it, and it becomes more of a standard fingering once it's been blocked. Like, for example, you can see it in this shawl. Oop. I lost the video. You can see it in this shawl. We get really lovely stitch definition, and also it blooms beautifully, so it's a more standard fingering weight. And then if you'd like to see the sport weight in a sample, this is the sport weight version of that same shawl. So you're also going to get that lovely stitch definition, and it's very, very soft. All yarns, one of the things most important to me is that my yarn is soft and not scratchy. So there are 85% superfine merino and 15% silk. And this, the way that it's spun, the silk isn't blended directly into the merino. It's sort of spun around the merino. So it ends up with a really silky look that just glows on the outside. And it's very smooth when it's knit up. The Ecola worsted, I've got this hat right here, that has, again, like super good stitch definition for cabling or for lace, and it's really soft and squishy. And I just love it. And it's got 215 yards per skein.
Hey, Sarah. So I'm still getting reports that people can't see the video. So I'm going to try re-inviting you again.
Okay.
Sorry,
Sounds good.
guys. Oh, or you just
No
came back.
problem.
You're grainy, though. But maybe can you just hold up the two projects you were just talking about for the two yarns you were just talking about? And
So
just kind of
one
summarize.
is with Ecola Sport. And this one is Ecola Fine. And then the hat, a cabled hat in the Ecola worsted.
Cute.
This
I love
hat is my favorite. This is the Oleander Hat by Laura Chow, and it's reversible, which is super cool. So there's cable on both sides.
Nice. So you do double cabling? Or
No, it is a reversible cable.
okay. Yeah. I don't know.
So it's a ribbed cable. So that's why it'll show it. So it's like a finer looking cable on one side.
Mhm.
And then, like, I would call it, I hate to use words masculine and feminine, but, you know, like a more delicate cable.
Yeah.
And then on this side, it's a more robust cable that can be, you know, that has a different look.
Very cool.
Yeah. And I made several of these like for Christmas gifts this year, and people loved them. So really highly recommend the pattern, and it's super fun to knit. And she has a cowl, I think, that also goes with it.
Nice.
Yeah. So those are the Ecola yarns. And then the Seacliff, I've got this one. I've got one in the sport. My Seacliff fingering sample, I realize, is down at Monarch Knitting, so I don't have it with me. But this is the sport weight, so you can, again, see like the really good stitch definition on these.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And this, so Seacliff is a 100% California Ramblay. So it comes from like the northeastern corner of California and kind of, I think, over into Nevada a little bit. And I buy it from Lana Solana, and which is a California fiber shed company. It's all like climate beneficial yarn. And that's why I chose that yarn to like be the first yarn for sea change fibers. So I have fingering weight, sport weight, and worsted weight. And I actually have like 150 pounds of cones of it showing up on my doorstep on Tuesday.
So exciting.
I know. And I can also purchase it in smaller quantities in natural gray and in a marled yarn, which is either, let me grab here. It should be either a black marled yarn. So it's a 3-ply yarn, and one ply is black and the others are white, and then the white ones obviously get dyed. Or it also comes in a, here it is, a light gray marled yarn. So it's way more subtle in its marling. It's got a light gray and then the 2 white. So in light colors, it shows up more, and in darker colors, it ends up with a more, like, it just gives it more depth of color, I would say. And then I can also purchase it, again, in smaller quantities in natural gray colors. So those will come out for like special projects, but the primary one that will be available at all times will be the white Ramblay. And I'm working on a project. I just realized I can show you this. I'm working on a project in the fingering weight right here. You can kind of see how that looks. And the fingering weight is a 2-ply, and it's it has about 400 yards per skein. It is it really, again, fluffs out just beautifully when you block it. So it's so funny because, like, I get it in the cones and it looks so thin, and then you like give some water to it and it just blooms like you would not believe. It's so beautiful. And then the sport weight and the worsted weight are both a 3-ply, so they're a more standard 3-ply. And it can also be for winter time. That will also bring some in that is a bulky weight.
So you're going to do the Ramblay in a bulky weight?
I can also do the Ramblay in a bulky weight, which I'll just do seasonally, like for winter time.
Nice.
Obviously, not a lot of bulky weight gets sold in California. So.
What is the difference between Ramblay and Mourinho? Do you know?
What's that?
What is the difference between Ramblay and Mourinho? Because I hear a lot of comparisons between the two.
So I would say that Ramblay has almost a more like cottony feel to it. You know, it just has a different texture. It really likes, it's a longer staple for the actual fiber. So it's slightly less pilly. It's a more, I guess you would say, robust yarn without being, it's not scratchy at all. Like I said, a lot of times people will feel it and they'll be like, oh, that kind of feels like cotton. And it does kind of have that feeling to it. It's going to have more, it has a lot of stitch definition. And it has this really lovely, like, sheepy smell that's not a sheep smell, but just a really nice, like, all the different breeds have different smells. And I really love the Ramblay.
I love smelling wool.
Yeah, I have a sneak peek of a garment that's going to be released this fall, which is in the marled Ramblay. So you can see how this is in my driftwood colorway. So it's light gray with the black, and then undercurrent for the cuffs and the neckline and the hem.
All right. So I am getting another report that some people can't see you again.
We'll try it again.
Yeah, okay. This time I am just going to remove you and then re-invite you.
Okay,
and hopefully that'll be no problem. All right. Thanks, guys, for being patient.
Okay, hopefully that worked.
And refocus on you.
So anyway, this is a sneak peek sample. A sweater that'll be released by Mer Stevens, who's a Portland designer, this fall. And we're going to open test knits for it probably in September. And I'll have the marled yarn available for people who want to test knit it in that yarn. And then I realized I forgot one of my super fun Ecola worsted samples, which is the Lolo Cowl by Olga Jazzy.
Ooh, I love that.
I know, isn't it fun? It's and it's really, really fun to knit. And I like it's while you're knitting it, you're like, oh, it can say hello. It's great. Like, it is graduated in size, so it'll go over your shoulders and keep you nice and warm, kind of under, you put your jacket on and you're not having to worry about tucking it in anywhere. Just it's real cozy. It takes one skein of each color for this size, or you can do a bigger size and have it be more almost like a capelet with 2 skeins of each color.
So that was so you talked about the Ecola and the Seacliff.
Yes.
And the Marled, right? You did the Marl's not part of the trunk show, but you do a Marl.
No, but it will be coming up in the fall.
Awesome.
She is unfortunately like the amount of it that she has right now is very low. So we're waiting for the new batch to come in for this year.
Yeah. She's in Nevada or California, and
she's in California, but literally right on the border.
Okay.
Like up in the very, very northeast corner of California. And they are also having fire problems right now. There's like fires going, I think actually fires on their ranch right now, which is not good.
God, that's so scary. Yeah. I hope they're okay. And so someone said that they refreshed their page and then they were able to see you. So I'm not sure if that would help anyone who is watching that can't see Sarah. You could try refreshing. She is coming in and out on my end too, but it's like you're there and then you're gone and then you come back.
Yeah.
So it might just be because
our available Wi-Fi from Comcast.
I mean, like, who knows what's going on with the fires and everything too, though. Like that could be affecting probably a lot of people using the internet right now too. So sorry, guys, we're doing our best.
Yeah. I know this is all like a new world of trying to do stuff. It's hard.
Yeah.
And then do we have what other bases do we have available?
So I also added the Literal and the Pinnacle.
All right. Well, I'm going to show you a beautiful sample that uses both of those, which is the Magnolia chutney cardigan. And I did it a little bit differently than she did. The pattern actually calls for using 2 strands of mohair. I'm just going to put it on because it matches my dress. It calls for using 2 strands of mohair, and I just used 1 because, again, California, you don't need 2 strands of mohair in your sweater. So this is a combination of the Literal and the Pinnacle, and I wish you could actually feel it because it's so soft. The Literal is a Falklands merino, so it's an organic merino from the Falkland Islands. And I buy it from a very like small source, like directly. It's like one guy, and he goes to the Falkland Islands and sources his wool and brings it back to Britain and has it milled in Britain, and then I buy it directly from him. And it's just beautiful and soft and squishy. And I know if Annika is still on the list here, she can testify to how beautiful it is because she's made like 4 sweaters out of it. And every time I get more in, she's like, oh, that's mine. It's all mine. So it comes in both a fingering weight and a DK weight. And both of those are 4-ply. It used to be called Neskowin, and it's been in shops as Neskowin, but we renamed it to move it over to Sea Change. And also renamed it because he recently reformulated the actual milling of it. So the DK used to be 3-ply and now it's 4-ply. And so it knits up differently. It's got a really beautiful, balanced stitch to it. I can show you I've got a swatch of it right here. And I really love the way that it knits up because you just get this gorgeous stitch definition and it's so soft.
So Annika just came back and says, I was out of the room. Are we talking about my yarn?
Yes, we are. I said that you would be able to testify to the quality of the Falklands Merino because it's your yarn. And and then the Pinnacle. The Pinnacle is a 70% kid mohair and 30% silk. And it's 50 grams, 460 yards. And my experience with mohair is that you don't need as much yardage of it as you do of your other yarn for your projects, because since it doesn't stretch and contract, you just get a lot more mileage out of it. Like I think for my sweater, I only used like 1.5 skeins of it for that sweater.
Sorry to be annoying, but I'm going to ask you to hold up your samples again. Maybe we just do it now and we'll do it again at the end too, in case anyone didn't have the video and now has video.
I like what Annika just said. Nobody buy it. I need another 50 sweaters. So this is another Ecola Fine project, which is a shawl. It's Fantouche by Kate Davies. And this is a super fun knit. And this took 1 skein. And so I did her size small, and then I was able to add 1 more repeat at the top to make it a little bit bigger. And then this is Ecola Sport Knit Up. And this is a Melanie Berg pattern. Thank you, Kit. I have my little helper over hiding in the side here. Are you going to come say hello? And then where'd my hat go? There it is. This is my Ecola worsted hat, which is the Oleander Hat by Laura Chow. And also the Lolo Cowl by Olga Jazzy. And this is a sample in the Seacliff in the Sport Weight, which is the Lotta dress by Marie Green. It was going to be my Rhinebeck dress. Now it's not. Maybe next year. This is Magnolia Chunky. In the literal DK and the Pinnacle mohair. And these buttons, by the way, are by Mossy or by Willie Moss Roots.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite colors.
I love that color. That one's Harvest Gold. And then the last one that I have sitting here is an upcoming pattern in the Marled. It's called Inner Title for Change. And that's in Driftwood with the black. And then the neckline is regular Seacliff, not Marled, in Undercurrent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we have another question from Maggie Miller. She asked, will the yarn still be the same under the new brand name?
Yes, it will. I'm not changing the yarn itself. I mean, like I said, I'm bringing in a couple of new, like I'm bringing in the Ramblay with Sea Change, but I will keep, I'm keeping forever. I'm keeping what was the Nestwind, but is now Literal. So it's still the same yarn, just a different name. Keeping the Pinnacle. And I also have a sock yarn called Montara Sock that we're keeping that one as well. And it comes in both a white and feathered gray. And then I have had some other bases that I'm like not going to keep going just because, you know, sometimes you got to move on. A couple of them I can't get anymore. And then others are just, it's time to do something new. So, and then I saw another question, which was about color inspiration. And a lot of my color inspiration really comes from, like, we spend a lot of time in nature and a lot of time at the ocean. So a lot of it comes from, our time up in the redwoods and around all of the flowers and things that are up there, and also from what we see by the ocean. But also just from stuff that's happening in life. And sometimes it's from politics, like this is, like, this red is called Incandescent Rage. And it was because of, like, everything that was happening right now, like I was just so mad and kind of expressed it. I think, again, with Annika's a very good friend of mine, and I sent her a picture and she was like, oh, that's the color of my rage. And I was like, well, there we go. There's the name. And then I also have, and right now, these 3 colors are only available on the Patreon page, but next month they'll be released for actual sale. I did these colors with Tao of Nerdbird Makery for a fundraising project. And so these are all on the inner title they were done for her on the inner title in the dark marl, but these are actually on regular seacliff. And so this one is Blue Wave, this one is Power Suit, and this one is Gatherings. And so a lot of times we'll just pick a theme and then I'll build colors around the theme. The other thing that I did very recently was I did a set of colors that are all on my website and also on the Trunk Show website that are inspired by the French Dispatch. Oh, there's Kit. And which is a new movie that's supposed to be coming out by Wes Anderson. It was supposed to be out last month, but I think now it's supposed to go out in October. And I just really love, like, his color sense, and had a lot of fun developing that set of colors based on the poster for the movie. So some people do the kinds of themes as well. And then Kit set up these different color themes. So she named this one Galaxy. She named this one Ocean Waves. This one is Trans Flag. This one is Stormy Night. And that one at the end is Walking in Roses.
Awesome. Great job, Kit. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's Taco, our mascot octopus. Yeah, she actually has a lot of fun helping me with colors, and I really encourage all of my kids.
I'm hoping you're paying.
Yeah, my kids are artists as well, and so, like, art is just a huge part of what we do in our family.
Nice.
Yeah, there are those French Dispatch colors there. I put them.
Oh, okay. That's what's up right now?
Yep, that's what's up right now.
Great.
And whatever, just for, like, general information, we are going to, I have a lot of these colors in stock, but if you're ordering larger quantities, I am going to do them as dyed order, because with shows happening, with, like, just less going on, I don't want to carry a huge inventory right now. I have a big inventory of undyed yarn, but I've got my time blocked out for the next 2 weeks to dye up and ship out. It gets ordered today.
So the way that we're going to do it then is we have the yarn on the link that I posted, and there is free shipping over $150. Is that right, Sarah?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool. So that's set up on the Trunk Show page that we're hosting too. So, if you want to make that sweater out of literal, now's your chance.
Yeah.
And then, so Sarah will drop ship. So we're saying 7 to 14 days is the lead time. And then if you want to pick up from Weird Sisters, you can pick up here as well. You can just select that option when you check out. And but it'll still be the same amount of lead time, just maybe a little less because maybe the shipping might be different depending on where you are. And then we'll just contact you when your order is ready for pickup.
Yeah, I do plan to have everything. I'm going to attempt to have everything done at least everything will be dyed by Friday. Because of what's going on outside, I can't do any drying outside. It's got to dry indoors. So it'll take a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's a really good point because it can't be outside.
Yeah. We just like everything down. Nobody wants ash on the yarn.
Yeah. I guess if you were a solar dyer, you'd be
bad shape right now.
Like, it just can't work. That's terrible.
The
asking
is 200 yards. So C-clip is 200 yards, 300 yards, and 400 yards.
Okay. And I did do the yardage on all the pages. So when you look through the page, there's a little link that says read more at the bottom. And so as soon as this is over, I guess I have to turn them on. Sorry, that's another thing, is that I had all the inventory turned off until today. And one of the things I just, craziness, didn't get to was turning it back on. But anyways, you can hit read more and read more about, the specs on each of the yarns.
And then also, if anyone has questions about colors, you can always just email me, and I'm happy to send other pictures as well. But there are pictures like on the site for each of the colors. And if you see a color like this up here that isn't on the site, then let me know, because I have people that I tried to take pictures of it because our lighting's so bad, I just couldn't get a good picture. This one, which is a personal favorite of mine, is called Breakwater, and it's new. You can see it on my site. It's in I have some kits that are available for a sweater that's doing a knit along for the Bay Area Fiber Fair right now. And so this one's called Breakwater, and it's in those kits if you want to see what it looks like. And it should also actually plug the Fiber Fair, because the Bay Fiber Fair is happening now, and it's going until the fall equinox, and a celebration of local dyers and shop and designers. And if you follow the Bay Area Fiber Fair on Instagram, there are lots of challenges, and you get when you complete a challenge and tag it on Instagram, you get entered in prize drawings, and there's all kinds of really great prizes, like project kits with both yarn and pattern. There's like gift certificates, there's project bags, there's jewelry, there's all kinds of great stuff. And when you order, I will send out also my stickers that go with every order that's happening during the Fiber Fair. So you'll get your Bay Area Fiber Fair sticker, and I'll send these up to you as well up at the shop. And because you're Bay Area, originating. So. And then also our little postcard that gives you all the details on the back about how to complete the challenges and get the stickers and so forth. I just think that it's really important for all of us, both in Portland and down in the Bay Area, to really work together to help all the businesses survive this time.
Yeah, and this is definitely not the first time in the recent years, that I know during the Santa Rosa fires a few years ago, there was a yarn shop over in that area. I forget what they were called, but they had a lot of issues too. And
with casting?
Yeah. And so, we want to support local businesses in that area. And,
Well, I think, as long as we all are collaborating together and working together, we all benefit.
Yes. There's enough room, enough slices of the pie for everyone.
Exactly.
I think so. And thank you so much for doing this with us. I'm so excited. And like you mentioned, I'm from the Bay Area, so I instantly felt like a connection to you and what you do. And so I guess I didn't say, but Sarah is actually from Portland, where we are, but now lives in the Bay Area in Santa Cruz, which I guess is sort of, southern. Yeah, just right there. But my sister and my dad both went to UC Santa Cruz, so I spent many, many lovely days down there. And I'm from the Bay Area, and then moved up here, and we just kind of crossed paths.
We did. We just switched places. Yeah, I was born and raised in Portland, and then left, and then moved back again as an adult, and then we came down here when my husband took a job at UCC.
Nice. And you used to work at Happiness. That's where you were when you started the
work
Dry
at
project.
Right, and I did a couple of years before they closed. Yeah. Yep. And that was sad. I miss Happiness.
Yeah, I never went there, but I've heard so many stories. People miss and talk about Happiness very fondly. Which is nice.
Yeah, I feel like to me, Happiness is really about like what we talked about with community.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely the heart of what we do. It's about community here. We're a very small yarn shop, so we have very limited inventory, but it's really about like doing these virtual things. We used to be all in person, now can't be in person, but just trying to be supportive of the community, teaching fiber arts and knitting to people, trying to be as welcome as possible. And like you guys, our vendors, our suppliers, and our customers are why we're here. You know, like you are the store, basically, the heart and soul of the shop. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, collaborating is really what I am all about, because I feel like that's really what makes everything better. And that's, again, part of like Sea Change for me is using the yarn to collaborate on good projects and to support people and, you know, make things different in the world, because we're all better when we're collaborating instead of competing with one another.
Yeah. So if anyone, for whatever reason, couldn't watch today because of technical issues or bandwidth issues or whatever, this is recorded. So after this, you could go back and rewatch. I can't guarantee that the video is going to look great in the recording, but you could go back and see. Jen said that sometimes the recording, even if on screen the video wasn't up there, the recording is able to capture what's on the screen.
Great.
So you could go back and look through for any of the yarn or sample examples. Does anyone else have any questions? I haven't seen any, but maybe I missed some.
But we are here if you have any.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I hope that you go check out the yarns and order from us. And 10% of all the sales are going to go to support food equity work in Portland. We have our event tomorrow. So if you want, that's at 4 p.m. also on Crowdcast. You can just go to our profile, Two Rivers and Weird Sisters, to find that event and see some Black and BIPOC farm workers and farmers market runners just talk about what they're doing. And yeah, just let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to contact us through our website or email us, WeirdSistersYarn.com. The online shop is posted on tworiversbooks.com.
Asking where they find the recording.
Oh, the recording, it can be found here on our profile. So inside Crowdcast, you can go up the top to Two Rivers and Weird Sisters profile, and all of our past events on Crowdcast are hosted there. So, you know, if you're bored and have hours to spare, you go back and watch every single event we've ever done on Crowdcast. They're all
a great idea.
I'm also going to have it archived on our website at tworiversbooks.com. And I intend to send.
Oh, I just lost Jen.
I think we all did.
Well, that's just a perfect way to end this, I think. Well, okay. Good luck with
so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you the next time I'm in Portland.
Yes, definitely. We'll have to meet up. So, all right. Well, take care with the fires and the pandemic and all the craziness. And I hope everyone has a great day.
All the craziness of 2020.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Bye.